Hey guys, Charley the plumber. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate everyone stopping back by. So I'm here with Captain Dan. He actually has made me a fishing pole and he's working on making me a second one. I swore that I told him I was going to catch more fish than him, so I might as well catch it with his own fishing pole that he made me. Captain Dan, how long you been making rods?
I actually bought my first setup approximately 4 years ago. I made two lame attempts. I threw it in the corner in the garage. And I got to Florida 3 winters ago, and the neighbor behind me happened to be a custom rod builder for 20-25 years experience, and he kind of showed me some ropes that helped me out. So I twisted up my first 2 rods approximately 2.5 years ago, and I probably got, I'm going to say over a dozen and a half now that I've completed. So Charlie gave me some parameters of what he was looking for, and there's a lot to it as far as lengths and sizes and actions and a whole bunch of different aspects to it, color.
So we started out, he asked me, he's like, what are you looking for in a rod? And to me, I said, let's go America, baby. So America to me means red, white, and blue. So he started out and he ordered 2 blanks. He ordered a red one, which is here in front of you, and he ordered a blue one, which is in the back. I actually texted him and said, hey, I'm thinking I want to make my own rod. Well, as soon as I started looking at the pages of the different stuff you could buy, I said, you know what? Let's let the professionals do what professionals do. This one is how long? 6.5 feet?
6 foot.
6 feet long.
Yep.
It is a perch fishing extravaganza rod. Gonna catch the most fish in the boat every time I go out. Now tell me about the eyelets. This is a bait caster type rod, is that correct?
Correct, yep.
So a bait caster type rod, he started out with the first eyelet on top, and then the second eyelet is rotated a little bit more, and then as you get to the bottom, the eyelets are on the bottom. Tell me the reasoning behind that.
Well, on this typical rod, your reel sits up on the top. The baitcaster reel sits on the top, so the line comes down the top, and typically it runs down the top of the rod. So the rod kind of impedes the sensitivity of the line. So this is kind of a new technology. I know they've been doing a lot especially in the ocean fishing rods. However, this starts on the top. The first 3 guides after that, it wraps to the bottom. So then the last 5 are all on the bottom, where the action would be, so you're all line and no rod.
Now, this is not one of them rods where you say, watch that pole bend, you break this thing in half. This is just a homemade perch catching rod is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. So it's a very lightweight rod in comparison to most. Is part of the game is you're trying to lighten them up as much as you can. However, the split grip gives you a little lighter feel, and hopefully this is gonna not outfish me, but in the event it does, I'll still feel good about it.
When you put the lines on or the eyelets on, you've got some customization down here on the bottom.
Yep, that is all thread on these bobbins here. All this red on here is a metallic, which is very difficult to work with in comparison to regular thread. However, once you put the top coat on it, it really makes it look very nice. This is what they consider a butt wrap, and this is a hook keeper here, and in the eyelets as you see as it goes down the rod. I hope that he catches many fish with this and has a lot of good success and fun memories with it.
Okay, so the butt wrap on the bottom goes a little bit on an angle. So as this thing is spinning, it goes very slowly. You're taking your spool and you're kind of picking that angle, is that correct?
This is all wrapped by hand, so this doesn't spin. I manually spin this when I'm putting that on.
There's a lot of customization down here, and it's pretty cool. What's your ideas on the red one? Do you want to tell us some secrets, or this one's a little bit shorter, it looks like?
Nope, they're both identical length. This actually is a little stiffer action. This is ultralight. This is like I'm going to say a light.
Okay.
Light to medium light. So it's going to have a little more rigidity to the tip of it. So you may use that more for walleye jigging in the river, where this may be more of a perch rod.
Don't worry about the lady with the empty beer can. She'll be out of here in no time.
I didn't know where your camera was. sorry, Zach, you have to edit it out.
But I've actually caught some fish with Captain Dan's rods on his pontoon boat up here in Houghton Lake, Michigan. And he friggin' hammers the walleye out there. Now, I was out there last time and I used a copper looking rod. What was that called?
We call it the penny. It's more looks like a piece of copper pipe. So we threw some silver and some black on it, and I actually threw some green in for a little bit of soldier green on the copper.
When I come in last night, this rod was spinning very slowly. You put like a 2-part epoxy on there.
It's called Flex Coat, so it's a flexible epoxy so that when the rod bends, it doesn't crack or break. So it's got some flex to it. It's 2 parts, you equally part it. Then you mix it, and then you apply it with a brush over the top of the thread, and that locks all the thread in so that your eyelets don't come off, and it's also for your detail work.
So how many hours do you think you would have in a rod like this?
This particular rod, between reaming the handles, fitting the reel seats and you got to glue it and wait. You got a couple hours into that.
We're going to say he's got 22 hours in there. Would that be a safe bet?
Close enough, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so it's not something you're just going to do in a day's time. That's why, one, I don't have the patience for it. I do have the money, but I don't have the patience, so that's why you pay the professionals to do something like this. Can't wait to fish with this one. Can't wait for the other one to be done. You've got 1 month. Can you do it? 3 weeks?
For sure.
For sure. So we got 2 rods. I'm going to be up there jigging like crazy. We're going to friggin' hammer the perch up there. Cedarville, Michigan. Watch that video coming soon. And appreciate everyone stopping by the channel. And thanks for watching. Captain Dan, appreciate you stopping by and showing us how to build these rods. With that being said, thanks for watching. See ya!